Welcome to Build Information Systems Video Learning Center. This Bank Reconciliation Part 1 tutorial will provide an overview on the bank reconciliation process and information on the bank deposit portion of the Bank Rec module. The Bank Reconciliation module allows you to reconcile your GL Cash bank accounts against the regularly provided bank statements to assure an ongoing accuracy and to better reflect the availability of funds. In Builder Information System, the bank reconciliation process follows the general steps taken by any company or individual with respect to banking. That is, funds or payments are received as cash receipts. The cash receipts are then deposited into a bank account. The bank in turn provides a monthly statement listing deposits made, along with checks and other withdrawal transactions received against the account, as well as any fees or service charges. Finally, the bank information is compared against the books, with any differences reconciled as needed to assure accuracy. First, let's briefly examine a cash receipt. Select Customer Payments in the wide area of the My Desktop General Ledger module, or go to Transactions, Cash Receipts, and select Customer Payments. Using the lookup, we'll select an existing customer payment. Note that on the main tab there are a check number or receipt number, date received, payment type, customer's ID, and amount, along with details as to which invoice or invoices the payment is applied to. Clicking onto the CR Account tab will indicate which GL bank account the funds are applied to. The GL account is associated with a specific bank account. Within the Bank Reconciliation module, there are two separate screens for entering bank deposits, depending on whether they are a cash deposit or a credit card deposit. The deposit screens provide a means for directing what receipts were deposited and when. For cash receipts to appear during the bank reconciliation process, a deposit must be completed that includes the receipts. Whether they are cash deposits or credit card deposits, the process for completing a deposit is the same. You may access the deposit screens by selecting the desired link in the wide area of the My Desktop Bank Reconciliation module, or by going to Transactions, Bank Deposits, and selecting the desired deposit screen. Let's now examine cash deposits. To initiate a deposit, select or enter the GL Cash account and the deposit date. With your cursor in the deposit date field, using the F3 key will populate it with the current login date. A cash deposit number for that date will auto-populate with a 1 if it is the first deposit for that date, and so on. Next, enter the date parameters for the receipts to be loaded by using the beginning date field and the ending date field. That will bring in all cash receipts entered to the selected GL Cash account within those date ranges. If payment type group IDs have been established, select a payment type group ID. If needed, they may be created on the fly by clicking on the payment type group ID hyperlink, which will take you to the master record screen where the master record can be created and saved. You may provide a description if needed. Once the desired information is entered, clicking the Load Receipts button in the lower right of the screen will load all the receipts within the given parameters. The totals for all loaded receipts will appear in the Totals area on the lower portion of the main tab. The loaded receipts will now appear on the Checks tab and the Currency tab. To view the loaded receipts, click on the tabs at the top. Click the Save icon or Control-S to save the deposit transaction. If desired, a deposit slip may be printed using the Deposit Slip button in the lower right. Note that any receipt loaded in the deposit may have a hold placed on it. To do so, select the transaction in the list and then click the Hold Radio button in the lower right. A prompt will appear. Do you want to change from checks to hold? Clicking Yes will move it to the Hold tab. Holds may be changed by following the same process from the Hold tab to send the receipt back to the original tab. Also note that in doing so, that changes will need to be saved as well. When a hold is placed, the hold transaction will not load into the bank reconciliation process, but may be loaded in again in a later cash or credit card deposit. Remember, if you haven't created a deposit with the receipt won't appear in the bank reconciliation process. Once the deposit is created with the receipt, the deposit amounts for the receipt will be included in the bank reconciliation. Now on to the bank reconciliation process. Bank Reconciliation Part 2 will cover the process for completing a bank reconciliation.